The promise of a paycheck in retirement. Unfortunately, today it's a promise that is made to relatively few people. And because of that, you might ask yourself this question: do you know what your retirement income will be? If you're like most of us, you don't. And here's why this reality is a problem. Financially, nothing is more important to a retiree than income. It's your income, not your savings, that creates your standard of living. In the decades after World War II, the defined benefit pension was a common employee benefit. Back then, most American workers knew in advance what their retirement incomes would be. But in the 1970s, a retirement revolution was unleashed. One after another, defined benefit pension plans began to be replaced by defined contribution plans, most notably 401k plans. 401k offers a lot of flexibility and investment options. But here's something 401k plans can't do. They don't guarantee you a retirement paycheck. Nor do they tell you in advance how much income you'll receive when you retire. For these reasons, more and more Americans are anxious about their financial futures. And this is why it's time for a new alternative to boost retirement security. An alternative that comes from a place you might not think about: life insurance. That's right, life insurance. You see, life insurance delivers a constellation of benefits, including protection for your beneficiaries. But imagine this. Imagine that you could predefine and then realize a specific income in retirement. But even more, an income that is tax-free. It is not a gimmick. It's not too good to be true. What it is a solid, consumer-oriented, and flexible way for you to take meaningful action to strengthen your personal retirement security. What does all of this? A program called Defined Benefit Life. Consider the economic characteristics of life insurance because they are unlike anything else. You put money into a life insurance policy. It's called a premium. Life insurance has its own vocabulary. When an insured person dies, the insurance company pays money to the insured's beneficiaries. That's called the death benefit. The money is received income tax-free. Even though the amount received may be many times larger than the premiums paid, it's still income tax-free. Now, some policies also build cash values. One type in particular, called Indexed Universal Life, credits interest based upon the performance of a stock index. That index might be the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ 100 or some other index or even a combination of indices. Depending upon the amounts of premiums paid into the policy, over time the cash value in the policy may grow to be quite large. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine someone at age 35 purchasing a policy and paying into it premiums of, say, $1,000 per month. That might provide an immediate life insurance benefit of $1 million. However, let's say the 35-year-old lives and keeps paying the premiums. And at retirement, the policy's cash value has grown to $1 million. Many of today's policies have provisions that allow the policy owner to borrow against his or her cash value at an interest rate of as low as 0% net cost. The policy might say, for example, that up to 10% of the cash value can be borrowed each year at a zero net cost. Loans in excess of 10% may have a net cost of, say, 2%. Now, why does this matter? It matters because the money taken from the policy as a loan is income tax-free. So in our example of a $1 million cash value, imagine the policy owner taking out $100,000 per year tax-free. Wouldn't that be a great way to help strengthen one's retirement? Even more, the portion of the cash value that has not been loaned out continues to earn interest and can grow further. Now, this may sound attractive, but it's actually quite traditional. It's a popular way for people to use life insurance. But what I'll explain next takes these economic dynamics to a whole different level. A program called Defined Benefit Life. you can add something very, very valuable to what life insurance traditionally offers. I'm talking about a service that effectively turns the insurance policy into your personal defined benefit plan for retirement security. It's not the old defined benefit pension plan I talked about in the beginning. In today's world, I'd argue it's better. Here's why. Defined Benefit Life is an innovative policy management system that annually monitors and reports to you on your policy's performance. It works like this. At the time you apply for life insurance, you make 4 additional decisions. The first is to define the amount of annual retirement income you would like to receive. Second, you would define how many years you wish to pay premiums into the policy. Third, you would define an assumed interest rate that you believe the policy may earn between the time it is issued and the time you begin to receive income. And fourth, you would decide on the number of years you wish to receive income from the policy. Let's have another thought experiment. Assume that a 35-year-old man wishes to use the life insurance policy to generate an annual income in retirement of $50,000 beginning at age 65. Next, he decides that he will pay premiums through age 64. For the interest rate assumption, he chooses 6%. And finally, he indicates that he wants to receive the income from age 65 through age 90. That's 25 years of income. Based upon the 6% assumption, the insurance agent will prepare an illustration that indicates the amount of premiums that would need to be paid in order to achieve the targeted annual income of $50,000. Assume that that premium needed is $1,000 per month. Now, without a crystal ball and with no ability to predict the future, we can safely say this. The interest rate the policy will earn in future years will change based upon the performance of the stock index selected. This is where the targeted benefit service becomes so valuable. Defined Benefit Life will annually assess your policy's performance and then send you an annual report. The report tells you the amount of any adjustments in the premium that may be needed, either higher or lower, to remain on track for the $50,000 income. Here's something that's very important to understand. When adjustments to the premium are made on an annual basis, they tend to be small. This is the key to actually realizing the $50,000 income starting at age 65. Here's an example. Assume that in year 2, the interest rate credited to the policy was lower than 6%. Let's say the policy was credited 5%. The insurance company will send you an annual report informing you that you have 2 options. You could, on the one hand, keep the premium at $1,000 per month, but now be on track for a slightly smaller income, say $49,500. The second option would be to raise the premium to whatever is needed to keep on pace for the $50,000 income. Let's say that means the premium would rise from $1,000 per month to $1,032 per month. What's important about this system of managing the policy is that you always have the information to decide what's right for you. Next, assume that in year 3, the policy performance was higher than the assumed 6%. Let's say the interest rate credited was 7%. The targeted benefits service would tell you that to stay on track for $50,000, you could lower your premium over the next year. Or by keeping it at $1,032, you'd be on track for a higher income, perhaps $51,000 at age 65. Defined Benefit Life is always monitoring the policy. It's always informing you of a small adjustment that may be needed to keep it on track for the income you want to receive. You are in control. The meaningfulness of this is that you gain a way to be certain that the income that you wish to receive in retirement will be there for you. And again, it's an income that's income tax-free. What Defined Benefit Life is doing is adding to the already impressive advantages of life insurance in order to create a vehicle for retirement security that is personally defined and deeply tax-advantaged. If you are concerned about your financial future, if greater certainty about the income you'll have in retirement is appealing, and if you have the capacity to fund a retirement income benefit that you can count on in the future, Then ask your licensed insurance agent about defined benefit life. Licensed life insurance agents are the only people who can bring it to you. You know, the defined benefit pension plan as America once knew it may never return. But that doesn't mean you can't define your own future retirement income. And while on the way there, having your family financially protected. To reestablish retirement security in this country, it's time to look in a new place and to a new strategy. Thanks for watching.